when you see stuff happening in the news and a film comes along that speaks to your community, it just reiterates how important film is. Because often as Asian Americans, we're very much held as like invisible.
Hello everybody, welcome back. My name is Phil Murray. I'm once again joined by Sean Vickers and Raj Rudolph for a Boys on Film review of Minari. Much talked about movie. It's won awards already. It picked up a Golden Globe. Best foreign language movie, Sean?
Yeah, it's won a Golden Globe. And rightly so, it's a great movie.
And nominated for Baftas as well.
Plural. If this doesn't win the Oscar for Best Foreign Language, even though it was shot in the US, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Yeah, me too.
So it follows a Korean family, and it follows Jacob and his family. And Jacob has a desire to have his slice of the American dream, and he wants his piece of land. So he uproots his family from California to Arkansas, and that is the hub, the genius of the idea of the film, and then what plays out as a Korean American family and what that means in Arkansas of all places.
There is a real depth to this movie. I mean, the complexity of the relationships. You've got so much going on because you've got so much complexity with each character as well. And that's what I loved about it, is the fact that you like all the characters for different reasons. They've got their strengths. They got their weaknesses as well. But I really warmed to these characters. I mean, the little kid is just adorable, little boy in this film. He really holds this film together, I think.
Yeah, and there's this really cute video of the actor's name is Alan Kim winning a Critics' Choice Award, and he just starts bawling when he wins. It's so like adorable. You just want to like give him a cuddle and squeeze him. There's something about when kid actors, win. It's really adorable. But you're right, Phil. He definitely held this film and took it to another level that it couldn't have happened without picking the right actor to do that.
I mean, the other actors are superb as well. I actually forgot that he was acting. It was that good a performance.
I think too, like the importance of this film is very timely right now. I mean, there's a lot of Asian news, especially old people getting attacked on the streets and stuff. As an American Asian myself, when you see stuff happening in the news and a film comes along that speaks to your community, it just reiterates how important film is. Because often as Asian Americans, we're very much held as like invisible. We don't complain. We get on with it. We have our traditions and customs, yes, but sometimes it feels like the other minorities speak so much louder than we do that people often forget about us. So the fact that, yeah, I know, Jacob, my dog is agreeing. So yeah, it just felt very timely, this film, with what's happening in the news. And I think that adds to the critical acclaim that it's getting right now. Not to say that it's a story about, Asian racism. I mean, there's a tiny hints of it in the film, but that's just something that's, as an American who's Asian, who has grown up, without much representation on screen outside of like Margaret Cho and a few other TV shows. I think everyone's going to find something to identify with here. And, Steven Yeun, I've been watching a lot of the interviews that he's been doing on the press tour for this, and he's such an amazing actor and such a really down-to-earth guy. And I hope that he gets nominated for Best Actor too, because this was really a passion project of his. It's, he put outside of just acting in the film, he put a lot of his own interest in it to tell this important story. So I just hope that, before Nomadland, that was my favorite film of the year so far, but Minari came in and kind of just swept the rug out under it. So
you're so right when you say it's very timely, though, because I just kept thinking all the way through this, I kept thinking be kind, because that was the message that was coming at me, was they're struggling, but it's all about human spirit, isn't it? It's about human warmth and having people there and feeling the importance of the people around you in your family. And it just felt, it's such a beautiful movie in so many ways. Completely buzzing about this film. I absolutely adored all the performances, and I just loved the spirit of it. It felt like a kind film. Felt Felt very warm film to me.
The grandma was great.
So
Love
hilarious.
the grandma. Love it. I mean, that relationship between the grandma and David is what warmed my soul, because it's that relationship what happens with grandparents and their grandkids, where there's a very special bond and you feel it. And I just loved all of those scenes, and I loved that relationship, and I just loved that he was so mischievous and so cheeky, and the more he was more mischievous and cheeky, the more she kind of loved it. That I found that relationship just so warm and touching. I thought it was amazing.
And he was downright mean to her, but she just loved it. She was just grandmaing up everything and soaking it in. It was really nice.
She was so foul-mouthed, and that was so brilliant, because I wasn't expecting that. But she was a real firework going off. The minute that she arrived, in some ways it was for a really good reason, because it made them realise what was going on. It was like this firework going off, but in some ways keeping them together. But I was not expecting that finale. I mean, we obviously can't talk about it, but it was a real eye-opener.
For it being such a very simple film, it's not like massive production values or anything like that, but for being such a simple film, there's so many layers to it. There's so many unexpected things that you wouldn't expect out of it. And I think for that reason, just because it kept unfolding all the time and creating like these little layers of love, and like life lessons and the relationship between, a grandmother and grandchild and father and son and mother and daughter. It was just, I just loved it. I really want to watch it again, because if I love something the first time like that, usually on a second viewing, you get even more out of it. So highly suggested.
I absolutely adored it. It's definitely a 5-star for me. I can't think of anything wrong with it at all.
So award season, we'll be watching Minari to win them all.
Do you know what it made me? I've seen some really lazy comparisons to Bong Joon-ho's Parasite, and I'm like, why are you comparing it to Parasite? Because what? Because it's Korean.
Yeah,
it's got a
completely
different energy.
Really, really kind of just off and lazy.
Yeah.
Like for me, it felt like the Straight Story, that kind of tonality where it just rolls really slowly and rolls out, and you're like, oh, I get the tonality of the landscape. I get a sense of where they are. I get a sense of their struggle, because the Straight Story has that same kind of struggle. Yeah, that's how it felt to me. But I just think if you're diving into this thinking, oh well, I know I loved Parasite, I'm gonna love this, and then I think you're approaching it from the wrong angle. Yeah,
it's not the same film at all. But you do sense that kind of tension. You get that kind of frustration of human beings not being able to make things work. And obviously the main character, you see him as such a hardworking man, Steven Yeun, isn't it? It's just amazing.
Sean, you're making me want to watch The Straight Story again on Disney Plus. That you said that.
I mean, that is another film that will warm your heart. A man driving across America on a tractor.
Phil, remember Lean on Pete? It kind of has that same sort of warm feel to it. So I guess if you're the type of film lover that likes those type of films, you're gonna love this one. But comparing it to Parasite, that is super lazy.
I don't get that at all. Not at all.
Yeah. If you're that person, don't do it, or just don't say it.
So it's Minari. Believe the hype. That's all I'm saying. Amazing. Good
what
to see
Phil
you guys.
said.
Yeah. Thank you for watching, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.